We talked about Atleti a bit before, Atletico Madrid. This is a big season for Simeone, right? Because not only figuring out what's the best way of making that team play, so go back to old school, super defensive way, or try to be more expensive, but you can't really do both. So figure that out, and also winning. I know it was not long then they won LaLiga, but Luis Suarez is gone.
Yeah.
They've got a few new players there and there, but the core is still there. But Simeone was really questioned last season, maybe more than for a long time. So this is big for him.
Huge. And I think why it was questioned, Jules, like you said, it's a contradiction in styles, DNA, where when you watch Atletico Madrid in the past, it was like their back five is sensational. They give nothing away, hold the midfield players, protect. As soon as you score, they win 1-0. It was a sort of fact. And then they try to go a little bit more expansive, as you said, with people like Thomas Lemar and Antoine Griezmann and João Felix. And on paper, they look amazing, which they are, because individually they're brilliant players. But trying to amalgamate the quality and the excitement of these flair players into a team that was quite robust, into winning 1-0 doesn't really suit. I watched João Felix many a time, Jules. I don't know what you think on him, but I think he's a world beater.
Yeah,
and I've said this, and I get criticised in the past. If he was playing under someone like Pep, didn't make him in, he'd be one of the best players in the world. He'd be, and I might be going over the top, but he could be Neymar standards, in my opinion. The fact that he's asked to play so defensive goes away from actually what he's amazing at.
I know.
That's the balance that Simeone's got.
Completely. Morata is back, obviously, from his loan at Juventus. I didn't want to include him in the Lewandowski, Karim battle.
Is he just going to be on loan forever?
It looks like he could stay.
Yeah.
He's not the most clinical finisher, so he won't get you 25 goals. However, maybe he changed the needle in the way that having Morata can help getting the best out of Griezmann or the best out of João Felix, in the sense that Morata is a team player very much.
Yeah.
And maybe that can benefit the others, or the problem I'm too optimistic?
No. Well, I think you're optimistic because we all know there's an unbelievable player in there. But I think his weakness is he's not the number 9 that's going to carry people around him. And when he was at Juve, I thought he had a brilliant season last season when Vlahovic come in.
Yeah.
And Vlahovic was bang, he's the number 9. And Morata then played off him. And I've seen a completely different player.
Yeah.
I've seen a guy that is willing to work hard, because that's naturally what he does anyway, but even harder. He was tracking back, and I was watching him and I was thinking, like, he is keen because he's got Vlahovic as the 9. He'll do all the hard work for him. I think when you ask Morata to do that, I don't think it comes natural. I think he looks around. I think he looks around and he's a little bit afraid of where centre halves are, in case they're going to go through the back of him. And Vlahovic was taking a lot of weight off him. Now he was playing where you can see the goals. That's a lot easier than when you got to face that way. So it's interesting to see if he's going to be the man that's leading the line or not.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm a bit worried for Atletico, and I'm a bit worried for Sevilla, really, because they've lost Koundé, they've lost Diego Carlos, who went to Aston Villa. Defensively, they won't be as solid as they've been for the last 3 years, for example. And then going forward, we saw last season the lack of creativity, not many goals. I mean, Rafa Mir or El Yunusi, players like that are good players. But to compete with Atleti or Real Madrid or Barcelona for as long as possible, a bit like they did last season, would be tricky, I think.
That's the problem, isn't it? When you look at who you're chasing down, Atletico Madrid, and then what Real Madrid and Barca have done, it's like they've just gone away from everyone. And
I wonder if Atleti and Sevilla don't hit the ground running straight away, have an iffy start of the season, if maybe behind a Villarreal with an Emery and Danjuma and Pau Torres, who they kept, Betis, who had a good season with Pellegrini last season, played really good football, Nabil Fekir is best. If a team like maybe Real Sociedad, who at times we saw very good, a bit too inconsistent to make it to the top 4, but Athletic Bilbao have Valverde as the new manager, who I think can really improve them. Do you think there might be a room there for another team to break into the top 4 outside of Sevilla, Atletico Madrid and Barca?
I think Villarreal have got the potential. I think they've got the potential in their European run, and the squad that Unai Emery's got and the players that he's got and are very settled and know the systems. People like Danjuma, when he was at Bournemouth, you didn't really think he was a worldly player. You go in there and you play in a settled system and you give a different position and you get loads of confidence. I think they could do something. It's just when you look at Real Madrid and Barca, the main two, they are so far clear in the signings and money that they're spending.
That would be top 2 for sure.
Lightning years away.
Below.
But you'd like to think teams below certainly can be optimistic that they can get the Champions League spots.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.